Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about some interesting things. But first, we're at the island of Boracay, the beautiful island of Boracay. It's so beautiful here, and there's people in the water swimming, and it's getting really nice nowadays. And we're going to talk a little bit about the last time I went to America Racing Speedway, and we're going to talk about that right now. June 7th, 2012, and I wanted to race Speedway. I had raced a few years earlier and I had a terrible accident, and I did not want to end my Speedway career on a horrible accident. So I went ahead and I contacted the Oxleys. Do you know the Oxleys? And they were not too excited about me riding on the program because they had regular riders riding on the program. And they just asked me if I would just stay in the stands and go and enjoy the races and tell everyone that I'm the Bumblebee and I used to race Speedway and go ahead and talk about the good old days. But I said, no, I want to race. And finally, with a little persuasion, I was able to persuade the Oxleys to put me on the program. I flew in on June 5th of that year into LAX from Manila, and I was met by my family, and it was really nice. And I was able to spend some time with my beloved mother before she passed away the following year, and it was really great. I got a chance to visit California. I was actually planning on going back this year. I had my plane ticket just about made, and then all of a sudden this pandemic thing came and screwed everything up. So I was actually hoping to go back and race a little Speedway this year, but things changed and for the worse. I had sponsored a few riders a few years before, Fast Eddie Castro and Battling Buck Brother, and Stu Agley saw that, I guess, and he went ahead and he asked me if I wanted to ride his Speedway bike, his laydown Jawa. And so I said, yeah, that would be great. So I was able to go ahead and have a very good friend named Stu Agley let me ride his Speedway bike, and we went ahead and went to the races. I had bought all my gear except for the helmet, the race helmet. I went ahead and ordered one online so that I would have a helmet here waiting. Plus, it's always good to have a new helmet. And it was really great. We went to the races, and as I was going to the races with my family, they're all begging me, like, please don't ride. And I said, no, I want to ride. I'm on the program. I'm riding. And they were like begging me, like, you're no good anymore and you're going to kill yourself and we don't want you to get hurt. And I was hearing all this stuff. Now, if you're a racer, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear like people saying you're no good and you're going to kill yourself. It's really like deflating. But I told them to be quiet and we're going to go racing some Speedway. It was really cool being in the pits again with all the Speedway riders and getting the bike ready. And I was a little nervous because my family, they fed my head with all this stuff. I wish they didn't do that. And they went ahead and had the racer introduction. And Terry Ike Clanton, do you know him? Terry Ike Clanton. He went ahead and he announced my name, the Bumblebee. He said, from the Philippines, number 77, the Bumblebee. And I was like, yeah. And that was good. I brought a bunch of gifts from the Philippines and I was giving them to all the people in the stands. I bought a whole bunch of bracelets and all kinds of knickknacks, and I was like giving them out as I was walking by, shaking everybody's hands. It was a lot of fun. And then the first race began. The very first race happened, and I was in it, and I was a little spooked, to be honest with you. I was a little nervous because I hadn't ridden in several years, and I was worried that I was gonna like crash because my family was feeding me all this stuff. And I went ahead and I was a little timid going into the first turn. The gate went up and I was in last place. There was 5 riders and there was 20 riders in the whole night, and I started off in last place, and I was really mad. I was like, I'm in last place. So I just went ahead and said, I'm not going to finish in last place. So I went ahead and gassed it, and I just said, I don't care if I crash or whatever, I'm not gonna be in last place. So one by one, I was picking the riders off, and the race was only 4 laps long, so there wasn't much time to have a good race, but I ended up getting second place in that race out of 5 guys, so I was really happy, and we advanced to the semi-main event. Now you must understand that I hadn't ridden in a long time. I hadn't ridden that speedway bike ever, and I hadn't practiced in like 4 or 5 years, and everything was cold turkey. I was a little nervous the first race, but I got a little confidence after the first race, and we head into the semi-main event, and I went ahead and had a good gait and got in first place at the beginning of that race and held it off and got the semi-main event win. I won my first race back, and it was my second race, the semi-main event, and it takes me directly to the main event. I did this wheelie on Stu's bike, and the seat bracket broke, and forevermore I heard about, Brian, don't do wheelies on my bike, and you broke the seat bracket. So I got in a lot of trouble for that, and I was really not doing well, but I just went ahead and said, hey, I made the main event. My big mistake of the night was actually being lazy. I was so happy to make the main event, I almost didn't care what happened after that. I'm like, hey, I made the main event. But I should have actually cared. What I should have did is actually change the gearing to go a little faster, because at the end of the night at the Costa Mesa Speedway, the track gets a little harder and a little slicker, and you need to go a little faster on the gearing, especially in the main event. But I didn't care, which I should have cared. I would have won that main event. But I just went ahead and let the old gearing go. I was just happy to be there. And the main event came, and I started off in like 3rd place. And then eventually I was able to pass the 2nd place guy, and I was in 2nd place, and I was hunting down the leader. And at that time I wish I would have changed that gearing. I could have got this guy, and I couldn't catch him because my gearing was too slow, and I ended up 2nd place in that main event. So out of 20 riders to begin the evening, I finished 2nd place, and that was pretty good. I was really shocked, so I was happy. And 2nd place, my first race in like 5 years. It was really good, and hopefully if I go back I can race again and try to do better than 2nd place in the main event. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully next year, 2021 season, I can get back there, and if I can find a bike, we can do some riding. I'll bring my Bumblebee outfit and maybe buy a helmet there in the US and just do some riding. So it was a lot of fun. And do you think I should go back next year or just stay retired? It's December 12th, 13th, and look at the water. It's blue and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous, and it's warm. The warm water, the warm beach, the warm sun. It's fabulous. But I'm thinking about maybe next year, if this COVID thing loosens up, get back over to the States and see if I can do some riding. So thank you so much. We have some more videos of the Bumblebee. I don't know if you want to watch those, but we have them right here, and we appreciate you watching this blog today on the return of the Bumblebee. So thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, and always ring that bell.